battle. I want to quickly bring into this conversation Air Chief Marshal Fali Homi, Major, then Chief of Air Staff during 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. Air Chief, many thanks for joining me here on India Today, sir. Air Chief Marshal Major, after the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, there was a meeting in South Block. What was your advice to Dr. Manmohan Singh's government?
Gaurav, after the terror attack, when the chiefs were called to the Prime Minister's office to go through the preparations of the armed forces, etc., the Indian Air Force we had already discussed amongst our operational staff, and we had a plan ready, which was given to the Prime Minister during this briefing. And that's it. We left it at that for them to decide whether we go ahead with the plan that we had or not.
Okay. Sir, without going into specifics, what were your options after 26/11? Were you in a position to launch airstrikes either into Pakistan or Pakistan-occupied Kashmir?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Our aim was for airstrikes across, whether POK or wherever the government intelligence gave us the information about these terrorist camps.
And what did the government say, sir? How did Dr. Manmohan Singh or the Cabinet Committee on Security, what was the response?
There was no response. They said that they'll let us know.
And that is that. We'll let you know. The Indian Air Force must have wargamed all of this. Would an airstrike, in your appreciation, would it have led to an escalation? And in your war game, sir, were we on top of that escalation ladder?
Whenever an operation like this is planned, the escalation ladder and other contingency plans are built in. And we had all those plans ready and available with us.
Okay, okay. And in your appreciation, sir, was it a mistake not to strike at Pakistan or not to strike back post 26/11? In your view, did it embolden Pakistan to hit us again?
Well, after the slaughter of our people in Mumbai, I mean, I personally was looking forward to a strike back to avenge that dastardly act of theirs in Mumbai. But whether it had to be done or not is a pure prerogative of the government, and we left it at that. In my absolute personal opinion, it would have taught them a lesson that messing with this country on a scale that they did on 26/11, you will always get a very, very severe reply to if you ever repeat a thing like this or any other terror act within the sovereign land of India.
Okay. Sir, when Pakistan-sponsored terror hit us once again at Pulwama, Indian Air Force fighter jets, the Mirage 2000 fighter jets, they didn't just cross the line of control, but they hit across the international border at Balakot in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province of Pakistan. Sir, was Balakot a deterrent? Was it an appropriate response to Pakistan's state-sponsored terror?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You see, we must understand that even a small tactical action, as was taken in Balakot, has huge strategic effects when air power is used. And it came out very clearly. If you notice, nobody in the world told us a thing about that. And everybody was quiet. That yes, a dastardly act requires a response like that.
Okay. And instead of putting boots on ground, is employment of air power an escalation, whether as a response to terror or as a preventive measure to deal with Pakistan state-sponsored terror? Does it amount to escalation, or is that thinking now changing?
Absolutely. Air power is, an over and above strike is what we need. We don't, boots on ground there is a possibility of perhaps casualties and things like that. Whereas here, if the mission is planned properly, if you have the correct, most important thing is if you have the correct intelligence available to you, then airstrike of the nature that was carried out in Balakot is the appropriate answer, in my opinion.
Okay. And then is there merit in Congress MP from Anandpur Sahib and former Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Manish Tiwari saying restraint was seen as weakness? Is a Balakot type response necessary to deal with Pakistan terror, or response necessary to deal with Pakistan terror?